drips off like flower dew. Sure, I know that your stem has a story. Melodies seem to form inside of you. The flow of your body drips off like flower dew. Sure, I know that your stem has a...
Hi, I'm Effie Barker. We are right here in downtown. When you say we're not going away with these issues, what are those issues? Good evening. Welcome to the special edition of I'm Effie Barker. Today is a very special day. I mean, I always say that it's a special day, but today we are in a treat because right in front of me is fresh from GMA Studios, the king of talk, Mr. Boy Abunda.
Thank you. Thank you,
Right.
Effie. And magandang araw po sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan. Good evening to all who are around the world. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are, love from the both of us.
Thank you so much. Well, you're actually here. I'm trying to pinch myself to make sure that this is not just a dream.
Thank you, Effie.
Of fresh from again, fast talk.
I just finished a taping with Alden Richards.
Right. Well, thank you so much for squeezing us into
You're
your
welcome.
very, very busy schedule. So the king of talk is right here. So this talent of yours, how do you think and why you end up to where you are now? Was this a dream or did you have it already within you?
How did I get to where I am today? The real answer to that is I don't know. Was it a dream? No. I grew up in a small town called Boronga in Eastern Samar.
Right.
I come from a very poor family, but very hardworking parents.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine because I didn't meet my great grandparents, but I come from a family of farmers and fisher folks.
Mm.
I saw my first television set when I came to Manila for college. It was simple, it was poor, but happy.
Mm-hmm.
It was a happy childhood. So every time I was asked as a child what I wanted to be, I had no answer to that question. A lot of my friends would say, I wanted to be a beauty queen. I wanted to be, or what do you want to be? I want to be a doctor. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a policeman. I had no answer to that question because the truth of the matter was I didn't know what I wanted to be.
Mm.
Why am I saying this? Is because I'd like to deliver the message to people out there, especially the young, that you don't have to know exactly what you want to be as a young child.
Right.
You would know at a certain point. Oprah would say this. It starts with a whisper. It starts with a whisper. And sometimes you don't hear the whisper. But as you grow into who you are, you go through this journey and somehow it manifests. So when I started to work in Manila, Nanay, my mother, wanted me to be an accountant because she wanted me to work in the Philippine National Bank. Tatay wanted me to be a lawyer because I talk too much. But I don't think they were really serious. It was more of, they had something to say as to what they wanted their children to be. But there was no pressure. I mean, Tatay did not make sure that I had to be a lawyer. Nanay. The only dream was, a lot of Filipinos abroad would be able to relate to this. It was a dream of our parents to have, a signage outside the house. Alam niyo yung placard that says Eugenio Abunda Jr., attorney at law / CPA. That would be displayed outside the house. So that was a dream of my parents. When I got to Manila, I worked in the theater. This is a short of the long story.
Yes.
But before that, I got into sales. I was selling books. I was selling shampoos. I was selling fire extinguishers and many others. So I like interacting. I like talking to people. I was very comfortable when I was in conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I love engaging with people. I love listening. I love to talk, but I also love to listen. So I was learning. So when I got into the theater, there were some indicators, but while they were happening, I didn't imagine that one day I was going to host. I remember in the theater, before any show would start, there would be a voice over that'd say, may I request everybody to stand up, to rise for the Philippine national anthem. One day, I spoke to the front of the house manager and I said, why can't I do it live in front of the curtains? Give me a mic, and I would just say, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Manila Metropolitan Theater. May we request everybody to rise for the Philippine national anthem. Thank you. Exit.
And you did that.
I did that for
Wow.
many years, not knowing that I was perhaps practicing a future
Right, yeah.
job, and I was used to speaking before a public. And every time there was a need for a host for press conferences in the theater, I would say, can I do that? So I used to host press conferences. These were indicators that I
Yes.
was going towards a public speaking
Right.
career. But did I dream to be a host? No. I didn't know there was a host. Did I dream to be an interviewer? No. I got into it. That was a natural progression from
Right.
being a talent manager. I was a publicist. I was engaged in talking to a lot of people. So
Yeah.
God choreographed everything. So I just cooperated with the universe.
Right. So sounds like you had it already within you. Yeah, you probably didn't realize it when you were younger, and it just evolved.
I probably didn't know the signs, but you're right. Yes,
Right.
I loved joining declamation contests when I was in elementary years. I loved the oratorical contests. I love the extemporaneous contests. So I
Yeah.
didn't see them as leading me towards a career in public speaking, but they were.
Yeah. It sounds like same similar to mine. I do declamation or a contest. And I
Right.
also didn't know what I want when I was younger. Every kid would say, I want to be a doctor, right? But then I only followed what my strength was like in English. Okay, maybe I should do journalism. So
I would have said I wanted to be a beauty queen. Or I wanted to be a pole dancer.
right. So when did you decide to master, like the master interviewer that you are now?
It was by happenstance. Um, I was I was consultant to GMA7 corporate communications office. So part of the job was examining, assessing how the brand image of the network was, press relations, etc. So I was involved in that job, and we were in a lot of conversations. We were in a lot of brainstormings. Um, we were in a lot of debates about imaging, about publicity, etc. So one day, one of the bosses of GMA7, Bobby Barrero, who became a very good friend of mine, a life friend, became a very good friend of mine, just out of nowhere asked me if I was interested to do on cam work. I never said no. I always say yes.
I love your energy. Would you say, can I do this?
Yeah.
And when you were offered, you said yes.
Yeah. When I was asked to host my first show, I didn't say, what do I do? I said, yes. Let me try that. And then I put in the hard work. And then I started to work on a lot of material. I started to read. I started to watch. I started to listen. I started to befriend, the Barbara Walters of this world. I started to befriend the Oprah Winfreys of this world without having to meet them. I studied. I did research. I watched the way they did interviews. And Oriana Fagliacci of France was an extremely interesting interviewer on television. I did watch a lot of her shows, aside from the American hosts. So that's how. When did I realize that? When I started to do my first television show, I decided to to be in there, to be present. I started to I started to be there. I started to be in the moment. I started to be in the now. I started to realize that I had to put in a lot of work, that it was not enough just to talk, that there were cameras, it was a performance, that there was a script, that there is an intent, that there is an intention, that you have an audience watching, you have producers watching. So it took a while, but I enjoyed it. I still
Right.
enjoy it today.